We're here with the team behind Hotel Dallas. Guys, introduce yourselves.
I'm Sheng-Li Huang. I directed the film with my wife here.
I'm Livia Unger, co-director.
I'm Patrick Duffy, just the luckiest actor on the planet.
So, we were just talking with Patrick yesterday about how impactful Dallas was to so many different countries, but in particular Romania, where it was the only one shown in the evenings. Can y'all showed us that in the film, but what was that like growing up with that as the outlet, if you will?
It wasn't just the only American TV show shown in the evenings. It was the only American TV show shown on TV, period, during the 80s. We had 2 hours of programming every day, and one was State Control News, and then it was Dallas. So as you can imagine, it had a huge following and impact. And I was one of those, little children. I was 8 or 9 at the time, and just religiously watching it with my parents and my family.
I was really blown away with the choice in reenactments being kids. And can you talk about that choice and how that kind of maybe reflected back on your childhood very much?
Yeah, the choice to have the children reenact the scenes was to kind of transport the audience into what it meant like for a child to see the TV show at that time. And the children that we casted are about my age when I was watching Dallas. So kind of have that perspective of a child living through Dallas, but also through communism at the time, and kind of internalizing everything and creating this mashup of, communist ideology, but also soap opera plots.
What was it like deciding when you guys were gonna take it on the road? I mean, you guys this is a road trip film. It's also experimental. I mean, there's so many elements. What were you guys thinking when you were, how do we tackle this story? Where did all these elements come from?
So we went to Romania. It was just Livia and myself, and we had we rented a car, and the film equipment was just what we could fit in the trunk. And we started the film with a 3-page outline. So we knew that this character of Mr. Here would die on TV, be transported to Romania, and then somehow he would get to this endless column, which was kind of his holy grail of his quest. But everything in between we more or less wrote as we went along on this trip, and kind of discovered the story as we went along. And actually the golden standard in our mind as far as that methodology was Paris, Texas. Which was made, Wim Wenders and LM Kit Carson hit the road together, and Kit was writing in a hotel room, just a week ahead of production, and they kind of figured it out as they went along. And that was a big inspiration for us. That was a really key film when I discovered it in college. And so to have Hunter Carson there last night doing the Q&A with us, who's, Kit's son and also the star of Paris, Texas, was just absolutely surreal.
And it's also, that had international flavor as well with the actors in it.
Absolutely.
That's another connection, yeah.
Absolutely. And we have a little snippet of dialogue from Paris, Texas in the film. So that was kind of our little hidden homage.
So explain how this wonderful gentleman gets on board, and then his ability to maybe take it to another level and
Absolutely.
Jump on board fully.
Yeah, the film would just the film would just not be what it is without Patrick in it. We, always dreamt of having him involved in the project, but it was always kind of just like a crazy thought to us that what if Patrick Duffy said yes and he was in our film, and so. We kind of, shot the film, edited, and then when we had something that seemed decent, we sent it to Patrick's manager, and just begged him to consider us, which he did. He so wonderfully did.
No.
We're so grateful. I mean, I just get so emotional when I talk about this, because it's also, for me, you know, not only as a filmmaker having a huge icon in our film, but it's also, I grew up watching Dallas and watching Bobby and rooting for him and kind of having him as a role model. So I'm a big fan too.
And I think it's not, you know, it's the quality of the performance that he brought to the screen and also off screen, because he's this off screen voice for much of the film. And so, you know, he is Bobby, and no one else could be Bobby. He's also kind of this Livia's sort of imagined version of Bobby, and he also is Patrick Duffy, you know, who is this icon who's, you know, been in living rooms on the screen for decades, and I think it's also just that history, like as a vocal presence. You know, if you listen to Bobby in the original Dallas, his voice, and now, you know, over the decades, a voice deepens, it grows grain and character, and you can feel that in the vocal performance. I mean, it's fantastic.
What about being able to showcase the unique side of Romania? I mean, we get to see not only this crazy hotel, but the Endless Column is amazing. I never knew about that. I was like, that in itself could be a film.
Right. I mean, we kind of think of the film in a way as a, I guess, a little bit of a promotional video for Romania. Come visit Romania. But it's kind of the twisted promotional video. I mean, we had in mind, you know, the Laughing Cemetery and the Brincuși's sculpture park in Târgu Jiu. Well, Brincuș is the most known Romanian artist in the West, and for me, living in the West, he's always been kind of like a reference point, and I guess you know, a father, like a father figure, if you will. And so we had that was from the beginning a point we were gonna hit.
I think the film, you know, it's very much an origin story. It's like Livia's origin as an American, as an artist, and it's kind of, and father figures, kind of dealing with the father figure, kind of struggling in the shadow of the past, and kind of forging your own path. So I think Brincuș is definitely a father figure, especially for any Romanian artist, and me too as an artist. So, and then also Dallas, you know, in a way is kind of the generation before us, you know, in terms of artistic production, and we're doing something very different, but it's influenced by the past. So that's a big theme throughout.
Well, I guess to kind of wrap things up, being able to have the screening last night here in Dallas, being at Dallas International's 10th annual, what does it mean to have this crazy full circle moment with this film?
I mean, it's unbelievable. I mean, it's unbelievable to have Patrick here with us. The very first scenes of the film were shot at South Fork. So, I mean, there's so many dreams, you know, within the film. It's a film about dreaming and yearning and going places, and I mean, it feels like a dream being here.
I think that's a perfect way to end it, guys. The dream with Patrick and
We're all gonna go take a shower now.
Well, thank you guys so much. It was an incredible film. Thank you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.